Hello everybody, welcome to the podcast. I'm here today with lovely Sandy. Please introduce yourself.
Hey, Darcy.
Hey, Darcy, I'm Sandy Jamieson. I do the golf coaching program.
So, now that you've mentioned the golf, may I ask, I hear that there's something going on with the golf course currently. Do you mind giving our audience the rundown on the whole controversy with the, what's the word? Sorry, the council.
The council. Okay, so golf's done a really bad job over the journey of telling its story. So Oakleigh Public Golf Course, where we run the Reach and Belong golf program, it's a public golf course and it's owned by the council. There are elements within the council who would like to see it become a regional park rather than a golf course. And so what's happened is they've put a consultation period out, which is finished now, for people to say whether they would like it to be a golf course or whether they would like it to be a park. We've got a lot of interest. Apparently, council has so many responses saying they want it to be a golf course and not many saying they want it to be a park. But we did. You really helped us, Darcy, along with Ollie and everyone else.
No. Yeah, that's what I was going to ask as well a bit later was, do you think that, I don't know whether if we're allowed to mention a current affair, so you can just censor this in post, but do you think the current affair story helped in any way with the golf course?
Absolutely, it did, mate, because what it did, the people who want to close golf down, they always talk about the stereotype saying that golf is for rich white men. And the current affair story, I was a bit worried, to be fair, when they started it, because sometimes the current affair is a bit, reporters chasing builders across car parks and shock horror. But they did a brilliant story of showing that all sorts of different people play at Oakleigh, people with disability, women, kids, older people, everyone but the stereotype. And that puts pressure on the politicians, because at the end of the day, councillors are the ones who vote. There's 11 councillors and they want votes.
And it's not just people playing. People have jobs working at the golf course that might struggle getting a job somewhere else. So it's not just about, the people playing. It's, about the people coaching, organising, all that stuff, like Scotty and that.
Yeah, 100%. So one of the things that we're most proud of at Reach and Belong is that we provide employment for people who they themselves are on NDIS plans. We've got Scotty, we've got Thomas. Where am I going? We've got we've got 4 coaches, and I'm going crazy. Scotty, Thomas, Clary, and also, although,
is Will a coach?
No, William's not a coach. William's a participant. Anyway, we've got 4 coaches, and they all get paid to do the program. They've got accreditation, and they're not going to get a job somewhere else, mate. So that's tough. But plus also the golf course, there's always staff members working in the shop, which wouldn't be the case if it was a park. There's 2 people who look after the grounds. Now, they're still going to need to look after the grounds, but that'd probably be a 1-person job. And then imagine all the people who bought houses that back onto the golf course, and they bought a house to back onto the golf course, and all of a sudden it becomes a park. They're going to lose out as well. There's lots of people who lose out.
Yeah, and they want to turn it into a park for whatever reason, but I'd argue it already has some park-ish elements, like the little wooden bridge that goes across the creek, all the nice hills, the nice pathways. But one thing as well that Phoebe actually brought this up when we were watching the video, but in the article, So I had mentioned a lot of stuff in the thing when I was speaking to the news anchor or news reporter. I was talking about a lot of advocacy stuff, and then they cut to an image right after I was saying how accessible the golf course is. They cut to a little video of me being stuck in the sand pits. Remember, you were warning me about that? And I'm like, that kind of goes against the point of it being accessible, or I was trying to say it's accessible, but no one really picked up on that except for Phoebe, so that was quite good. And what else? I had something else I was gonna say. Yeah, I personally thought that the story went quite well. Lot of I did like as well that there was like a lot of interview. Like, I was half expecting them to just interview you pretty much, but it was good to see them interview people like Thomas and Scotty. Like, having their word be heard was good.
Oh, absolutely, mate. And that's what I really wanted to get out, because I'm not the person who needs to be on there. It's you guys that need to be on there. Getting back to the point about the park, I started calling it a park with golf, because I think it is a park.
Yeah.
It's the cheapest golf in Melbourne. So, like, you guys, when you play, the concession green fee is like $14.65, and the full green fee during the week is under $20. It's $19.65 or something. It's like a funny amount. But so to pay that sort of money to walk around something that's looked after in a far better way than a park, I think is good value.
Yeah.
And one of the things I love about golf too is everybody in their life has things that are on their mind that maybe aren't good. But when you play golf, all you're thinking about is hitting that golf ball. It's sort of like a form of meditation. If they turn it into a park, and, I've got some problems in my life and I walk around the park, I'm going to spend that time thinking about my problems. Whereas if I've got some issues, I walk around a golf course, I'm going to just try and get the ball in the hole. It's like escapism.
Yeah, and yeah, I know exactly where you're coming from, because, like you said, you're sort of, when you're taking a walk or a stroll or whatever, you're just sort of left to your own devices and thoughts in your head. Whereas it's good to have something to distract you, like, for example, golf, and making sure that you get your ball in the hole.
Yeah, and the other thing I loved about the story was the anchor Lexi. She went and she took the cameras to the parks that are right in the area. So there's already a whole lot of parks around the golf course. So I think that the push to close the golf course is a political one rather than one of need. So
I heard about that.
Yeah. So there was a golf course recently, Northcote Golf Course, that was put under threat. But the difference with Northcote is there was a whole lobby group of people who wanted to close it as a park. Where we are at Oakleigh, there's not a single group that came out and said they wanted to close it. So I think we're going to save it. It goes to vote. So there's 11 councillors, and from what I hear, they're going to vote in February. So it'll be the last Tuesday of February. They'll vote. Council meet. I don't think they'll do it in January, because January is too close to Christmas, and there's so much work that people have got to go through and look at all the responses. So we'll see what happens.
Well, hopefully they're in favour of keeping it a golf course.
Yeah, they are, and hopefully we see you there more often.
Yeah. I remember I did golf for a little bit, but then, like, just couldn't, like I didn't have the time, but definitely to sort of celebrate if the golf course is able to stay a golf course, I'll definitely come over to celebrate for a bit.
Oh, fantastic. And hopefully by then those new trenches that they dug that you guys got caught in, hopefully they're fixed. They'll grow over. They've started to fix already. It was kind of funny. They spent a fair bit of money trying to make the course better. So to close it now mightn't be a good move. What things would you like to see if it was your job to talk to the bosses of golf? What things would you like to see at a golf course that may not necessarily be golf related? So say you didn't want to play, but you still wanted to be able to use the space in some way. What would you want?
There's no real main changes I can think of. It's more just scenic stuff.
We put a proposal into council in our submission, and the proposal was that we were going to run a horticulture program there where we gradually replant all the trees to make them all indigenous, and that was going to be an NDIS program. So we could have people from NDIS running a nursery type program there. But we put a whole lot of stuff in, so hopefully they listen to us, mate.
Well, that's the thing. We don't want to be too loud to the point where they get annoyed by us and don't want to help us, but we want to be loud enough to be heard.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Sometimes I get a bit too loud, so I'm just going quiet on it a bit at the moment. I'm just going to wait. But we'll put a bit more pressure on after Christmas so the politicians do the right thing.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's all we really can do is just wait and bide our time.
Indeed. Even if they close it, mate, it's there for another 5 years. So there is some light at the end of the tunnel. But I tell you what, the story also did. There's other courses ringing me up wanting to run programs at their courses, which is good.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we could grow.
That'd be amazing.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, I did like as well how the news reporter went around to all the other parks in the vicinity and was going, why do we need a new park when we've got all these ones around here?
There's been a lot of the people on social media doing that as well. So taking photos of the park and saying how many people are in the park and then saying how many people are on the golf course. And I think it's pretty clear that there's more people on the golf course than in the parks. But it's not new. This is going to happen all around Australia. In Sydney at the moment, they're trying to close half a golf course to make it more parkland. But right next to the golf course, there's heaps of parkland anyway. So it's just politics, mate. Unfortunately, it's politics.
Yay, we love politics. Don't we? We love the government.
Well, you could end up running for government. What do you reckon?
No, never. Please. I just don't want to.
I'd listen to you. What sort of things would you do if you were the boss of Australia for a week?
I'd resign within the first hour because I'm just like, nope, I am not going to be in charge of this country. I'm not gonna do this. I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna sit out and let some other elderly white guy run this. Oh no, maybe that's something I'd do with my power is I'd make it so in the next term only like non-white people can run for prime minister.
So there you go.
For a term, I'd exclude white people from running.
Yeah, and what about exclude white people and men? So it had to be a woman of a different cultural background running the country.
I don't know. We're getting into politics. I don't know.
What do you normally want to talk about on your pod, mate? What do you normally?
Well, it's usually just about whatever my guest is. No, I just usually like to talk about like whatever my guest is into, really.
Oh,
So I'm trying to think of something else. Oh, that's right. How long have you been with Reach and Belong, Sandy?
I've been with Reach and Belong. We started before COVID, so in might have been early 2020 or late 2019.
Yeah.
So 3 or 4 years I've been there. So Fiona reached out to me. She went to a conference at Huntingdale Golf Course, which is just down the road, but it's a private club and very exclusive. And she saw the course and said, "Oh, would we be able to bring our participants out here?" And they said no. So then she got on the phone and she's ringing other golf course around, and she rang and I answered the phone, and she explained what she wanted. I said yes. That's for me, it's incredible, and I think the people who use Oakleigh Golf Course should be very thankful that Fiona rang me, because I think that the all ability stuff that we do there is one of the main things that's going to save the course.
Oh
So
no.
if she never rang, the course may disappear.
Yeah. Well, that's one of the like main things. Yeah, that I want to keep. One of the main reasons I want to keep the golf course around is because of how accessible it is for people with disabilities. And like you said, you hire people with disabilities and NDIS funding. And another thing I was going to ask was, well, what sort of, you mentioned how you got into Reach Along with Fiona, but were there any other sort of motivations that you felt? Like, was it strictly about the golfing aspect, or did you, were there any other reasons for you wanting to be a part of Reach and Belong?
The main reason is I'm passionate about the golf courses should represent the communities they're in. So, where Oakleigh is, I'm passionate that the people who play there, if you went to the supermarket, you should see the same faces there, and it hasn't been that way. So it predominantly has been a bit the stereotype. It has been more older white guys playing golf.
Yeah.
And so when I look at the community, I started a big program to get people of a Chinese background into golf, and we had a lot of success there. And then also the statistic that 20% of the population has a disability meant that I wanted to get involved because I wanted the golf course to look more like the community. And certainly the private golf courses around don't look like the community. So that was my motivation, and then I just fell in love with it. Like, I'll tell you a funny story. You want to hear a funny story?
Oh no, last time I heard that it was from Scotty, and he said something that was really, really bad.
Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm not going to say the swear words, because there's very big swear words in there, but you'll get the gist. So the thing that having people with disabilities on the golf course does is it makes other golfers on the course relax and enjoy the golf more, because they're looking around, and where they might think that their golf is the most important thing, they'll see people, say, in a wheelchair, or they'll see people with a disability playing, and they relax a bit. So we had our group, and one of our participants, Anthony, is in the group. I'm not sure whether you've met Anthony. He was there on the day where the story was, and Anthony is very happy all the time. Sometimes a little hard to understand. I understand him though. But we're standing on the fourth tee, up on top of the hill, and right next to the fourth tee is the sixth green, and this tradies playing golf, a bit rough, and one of them missed a putt, and he yelled out, "Mother effer." And Anthony turned around and screamed out really loud. He said, "Mother effer." And he's gone, "Mother effer's not nice, is it?" And then Anthony hit a shot and turned around and said to the man, "Was that a mother effer?" And anyway, the guy saw me later on. He says, "I'm so sorry. I'll never swear on the golf course again." and it was just absolutely brilliant. But I had to get Anthony to forget to say it because for the rest of the round, every time he hit a shot, he wanted to know whether it was a mother effer. It was so funny, and I had to try not to laugh. But that's what having people on the golf course does, because normally if you and I heard that, we'd say nothing, we'd go quiet. But Anthony just took it straight on, and it was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
It was no, that sounds that's like one half it's very wholesome, but on one hand it's very wholesome, and on the other hand it's very funny. Like
hilarious. So Anthony's other thing, and this is a bit naughty what I told him. So I've taught Anthony when he hits a good shot, he says, "Nicky Lauder, I'm on fire." And Nicky Lauder was a race car driver, and his race car caught on fire and he caught fire. But like I'm on fire, I'm doing great. So he called out, "Nicky Lauder, I'm on fire" when he hits a good shot. It's very fun.
And you taught him that?
I taught him that, because I'm a bit naughty sometimes, but it's fun. That's a long time ago that happened. It's a shame, but Anthony loves it. He absolutely loves it.
Sorry.
That's right, mate.
Sorry about that. We just had someone come and interrupt us. They were staring at us for like a good 4 minutes prior, and then they just sort of bursted in, and they've kidnapped Phoebe. Phoebe's gone.
Okay, well, so we can talk about her now.
Yeah. God, Phoebe's so annoying. Don't you hate Phoebe, audience? No. Well, one thing I like to do with my guests on the podcast just before we go is ask them if they have any Yo Mama jokes, like what their favorite. Do you know what a Yo Mama?
No, you tell me a Yo Mama joke.
So I'll give you an idea. So it's like it'll be one like, your mama so it's like, your mama so ugly she made One Direction go the other direction, or something like that. So it's just a joke making fun of whoever you're talking to, mum.
Wow. I reckon I've heard some of those. I'm trying to think if there's anything half appropriate. So I've got to make fun of your mum.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Your mum is so stupid. No, I can't think of anything. Can't think of it. So you tell one about my mum. Your mum or what?
Your mama so short, she went to climb Mountain Dew.
Oh.
Your mama's so short, she hang glided on a Dorito.
That's quite funny. Haven't really thought of anything. No, I'm not very good at that. I have a lot of jokes, but they're not appropriate, unfortunately. A Yo Mama joke. I have to. I said, Yo Mama's so fat she can't fit out the door.
All right, yeah, that works. Yeah, good job, Sandy.
Good job. I actually come up with a Yo Mama job.
Yeah, you did it. Good job.
Wow, happy days.
All right. Well, that's about time for us. Is there any? You can shout out the park's social medias if you want.
Look, it's all that sort of stuff's going. I'd just like everyone to get involved with Reach and Belong. Follow your podcast. And spread the word that everyone can play golf, mate. Everyone can play golf and come on down.
Yeah, especially that first bit about listening to my podcast.
Yeah, absolutely. So plug your pod. Someone, hey, you got to tell everyone to tune in and share it with a friend and leave a review.
What he said. Well, thank you for coming on, Sandy. And
Thanks for having me, mate.
I look forward to seeing you on Tuesday.
Oh, no worries, mate. I look forward to it as well. Have a great Christmas, everybody.
You too. See ya. Bye.
See you. Bye. Bye.
Bye.